Alright, so the squat, it's a lot more of a complex exercise than you think. So I'm going to break it down for you. First off, let me show you what a good squat looks like. Side angle. So that's a good squat, and let's start off with feet positioning. What you want is your feet a bit more than shoulder width, depending what feels comfortable to you, depending on how flexible you are. I like to go wide stance, and you want your feet positioned at a 45-60 degree angle. You don't want your toes pointing straight forward. So that's feet positioning. And the rest of the stance, for the chest, you're going to want your chest up and your lower back tight. You don't want your lower back rounded and your chest down. You're going to want that tight. And what you want is, when starting off, you want your butt sticking out just a bit. So like, you don't want to be standing fully upright and your chest just pointing to the sky when I say chest up and whatnot. No, you're going to want your lower back, your butt just a bit back, so your chest is still up, but it's not like this. And then once again, lower back rounded, or not rounded, keep it tightened. So that's the stance of the squat. Chest up, lower back tightened, butt just a bit forward, and feet a bit more than shoulder width apart at a 45-60 degree angle. So let's get started with the descent downward. A lot of people, when they squat, they just go straight down like this, or side angle like this. But no, that's not how you want to do it. Like with a squat, you're going to want to sit back into it. So like, you're going to want your butt to sit back rather than just to go straight down like this. Basically, it's like your leg and butt position when you're sitting on the toilet taking a shit. You're not like this, you're like this, right here. So like, let me emphasize this more. So like, imagine there's a little box just a bit away from you, and you're going to want to sit on top of it. You can't get to it by just squatting straight down. You have to stick your butt out a bit. Shit, that didn't work. But let me retry. So you don't want to just go straight down. You're going to want to sit back into it so your butt touches it like that. A good way to see if you're sitting back rather than just going straight down is your knee to toe position. You don't want your knees to shoot past your toes. It's okay to just shoot a bit more past your toes, but like this is just too much past your toes. If you squat and your knees don't shoot past your toes much, you're probably doing it right and you're sitting back. And you're going to want to squat to a depth of at least parallel, where this inner hip joint is parallel to this knee joint or below it. You don't want to do some half squats like this. No, you're going to want to go deep. Another big problem that people have with squats is their knees. A lot of people, when they squat, their knees shoot straight forward like this. They just shoot straight forward. What you want is to internally rotate your knees outward. Just outward, rotate them. And so when you squat, rather than doing this, you're going to want them to shoot straight out like that. See the difference? This compared to this. So you want to rotate your knees internally, and then while squatting, you want to keep your knees pushed out rather than letting them fold in. Alright, so that is the going down part of the squat. Coming back up, what you want to do is just to keep your core tight, keep your chest up. You know, don't let yourself round like this. Keep your core tight once again, and just come back up, pushing your feet against the ground. Once again, with the knees, you're going to still want, while coming back up, to be pushing your knees outward, because if you don't force that outwardness, they're just going to cave in like this. And that is a squat, broken down quickly for dummies. Also, a little tip for the whole helping your knees push outward, like I talked about, and to keep them pushed outward, is this idea called spreading the floor. So it's basically where you're squatting down, and when you're squatting back up, it's like you want to try and imagine your feet trying to spread the floor. So like your right foot is sliding, you're trying to force your right foot to slide this way, your left foot to slide this way. So you're not actually going to slide them that way, but the idea of forcing the sides of your feet to push out and slide against the floor, it should help with the whole keeping your knees forced outward rather than caving back in. That's spreading the floor. Another important tip to keep your butt out rather than keep your butt out like that, and to keep your knees from extending far past your toes, is to practice some squats up against the wall where your toes are close, not touching, but they're just close against it. And so if you can squat like this and not feel totally uncomfortable, you're probably doing it right and you're sitting back enough. But like, if your knees touch the wall and you're barely even, your barely even parallel point, then you're probably doing it wrong. You're not sitting back enough, and your knees are shooting too far past your toes. So like this, yeah, my knees touch the wall, but I'm already deep. I'm already squatting deep. This, you're doing it wrong.